Daily non-negotiables. This is an important topic that is kind of new to me. I'd say new, like the last 5-6 years or something like this. Some people's daily non-negotiable is breakfast. I have to have breakfast, or coffee. I have to have a coffee. And yeah, that's great. But for me, I have to have structure and I have to have a plan. If I don't, I'll just walk into the day and I'll procrastinate, doom scroll, do 1,000,001 different things, get none of them finished. So this is where the non-negotiables come in at the very start of the day. So when I get up, I don't touch my phone. It's just, I don't need to know what's going on in the rest of the world, the rest of the fake news world, or the rest of kind of like social media world. It's kind of like its own little entity, that thing, I'm starting to kind of, I do these things where I kind of wean myself off it. So I've taken it off my phone. So it takes that risk of having a sudden urge. And that's what, bad habits come from, these sudden urges that you're emotionally got this sudden urge to do something, whether it's have a cigarette, whether it's to scroll, where you realize it's not very productive. So my non-negotiables are: don't open my phone, get up, do some mobility, whatever that might be for you, whether you want to call it yoga, breathing, whatever. Do something for 15-20 minutes. Then get a notebook, get a pen. It's not the same if you do it on your phone, because then you've opened your phone, and the risk of, I wonder what's happening with so-and-so on Instagram. I wonder if they posted something, I wonder if someone liked my post. Or so pen and paper. And I've really got into the whole pen and paper thing. I have a bunch of pens now. I watch guys on YouTube that talk about pens. So I've got into that. So it just brings you in these little realms. So I know what paper, the weight of paper, what paper writes well, what doesn't write well. So I use fountain pens, I use different inks. I've taken out lines from my pad work. So before, it was always a case of, like, I got a notebook, it always had to have lines in it. So keep between the lines. I always had to write with a blue pen or a black pen. Keep within the rules, keep within the constraints. Whereas know the rules, break the rules. Get rid of the lines. I learned this from Star. I watched her do stuff, and my brain never even thought of it like that. If you stay within the constraints from the simple thing in between the lines, you'll stay within the constraints in life. You won't expand, you won't go out, you won't try different things. So get rid of the lines. I got a clean piece of paper. I keep the lines straight myself. I take care of what I write. So how I write it is thoughtful and precise, each letter. And in these are the kind of little meditations that you need. So I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. It can be whatever comes to mind, or you can do the same ones every time. If you do the same ones out at every time, you lose the thoughtfulness in it, I find. So what I tend to do is mix them up a little bit. Start with a different one and start the same one every time. I do 5 of those, and then I do 10 things that are my goals. And they can be goals on the day, they can be long-term goals, they can be short-term goals. If you can't think of 10 things, use your imagination. They can be anything. It doesn't have to be, no one's going to read it, you're not publicizing it, it's just for yourself. It's just an exercise. And in that's your prayer, that's your little thing. So it can be, every day I'm getting better and better in every way. That's Joe Hoey's one. It can be, every month I am going to save 5,000 euros. It can be, imagine that you're winning everything that you try. Whatever you want, but they have to start with 4 words. I am, I have, I can, and I now. These are positives, not I try or maybe. These are negatives, and you're just telling your unconscious mind negatives. That all it hears is can't, the negative. It only hears the negative word. So go with positive words. These are my non-negotiables. Then I have a coffee, or then I have some breakfast, or then I might open my phone to see if there's any emails, or check something that I needed to check. And that's it. And they're the non-negotiables. The other thing what I'm going to add into my life is have it midday or lunchtime after lunch, check back in on what I wrote. Because it's okay writing it down and then you just forget about it. And I found I drifted a little bit because by default your body is lazy. By default, you're always going to do the bare minimum. It's just the way we were built. So for me, now what I want to do is I have one side of the page and I have my goals and my affirmations, and then on the other side I doodle a little bit. I draw some circles or doodle a thing and I write down some stuff. But I need to dip back into add to the doodle, add to the little, just a little whatever, just doodle around, and then add to make sure, check in on what you wrote earlier. Check in that you're doing them. Check in that you just didn't write it down because this is what I have to do. You gotta love doing it. You gotta enjoy the process. I have a small group of guys that I mentor. I'm taking on another 2, and that's pretty much capacity for me. And what I do is I give them tools and I give them accountability and structure and find their goals. If they don't have goals, if they have goals, we find a way to get there. So if something you're interested in, I'll have a link below. But otherwise, take something out of this. Get a pen and paper, start writing. Have a goal, have a structure, have a non-negotiable every day. And you'll find that things work out better for you. You'll be in better mood. You'll learn a little bit more about yourself. And things might come out that you didn't think you even thought were goals. Anyway, get a mentor.
Your tongue, deep breath.